Anyway, hate to be a little drum, but I just, I've been watching a couple of news articles this weekend and last night, and the country's really getting crazier and crazier. So, and I'm saying the same thing in hopes to get people's attention, because we need to have a united middle class. A united and healthy middle class creates a strong America. And you have to listen to who wants that to happen and has ways of making it happen. And then we need to vote people in and vote people out according to their strengths or weaknesses. And it's going to take some time to do, to get finally a handle over our political system, because we have no handle over this. And the founding fathers gave us this. We owe it to them. They weren't perfect people, and they were elites, but they at least saw that this country, the middle class of this country, needs to run the important issues directed by our politicians. And just like you have a head of a company and you have the crew of a company, if that's not going right in a company, one or the other, that company goes out, right? Well, this country is much, obviously a whole different scenario, but it matches a bit, because we're on the way to communism right now, or socialism, and there's just no getting around that fact that either we come together and we pull together and we look out for our neighbors and we talk to each other and we do those things that our founding fathers gave us the freedom to do, or we don't have a society anymore. Anyway, we're going to start getting this down. I'm still working on some lighting. Barbie's moving to California, so she's going to be producer Barbie remote. But I think we might be able to get her on camera this way. So with all of that said, you guys have a great weekend. Say hi to each other. Go out and say hi to somebody. Just wave at them, man. Start that way. Just wave at them. Every time you see them, wave at them. If you don't know them. And then you'll see the reaction change, evolve. You'll see the body language evolve. Go out and say hi to a couple of people today. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for being here.
That's pretty cool. I was telling Italiano that I used that for a different episode, and I was getting her all ready to show how the show actually works. And that intro we usually do with producer Barbie, I'm kind of eliminating that, not for the show, really. So I've been playing with different lead-ins. That was nothing like that one we do normally. So how is everybody? I see people starting to come in. I appreciate you being here. This, by the way, Italia, this is a little bit of a special occasion. Yeah, kind of. Besides the fact that you're here, besides the fact that Italia is here, because she's got an amazing story, and we have an awesome talk in the green room. And she also gave me that promise that she would not touch any of those peanuts. You know the ones I'm talking about. So we're okay in all counts. Her name, as you guys know, is a name that I love to mess around with, and it's Italian. So I'm actually pretty good at the name thing on this one, at least. And I think she's got a little bit of a Eastern slang thrown in there with some family, maybe history over abroad. So she does, yes, Italia. You do have a little bit of an accent going there. So I'm enjoying this whole thing. So what are we doing? We've got a number of shows going. We've got our AI class and community is really coming together. We've got a great guest, obviously. I mean, I can't wait to start talking about the story of a woman who went from the streets, from devastating, horrible situation. She's going to tell her story, and it starts with her son, which is very cool to me. Well, to anybody, of course, and up to making what is it, 7, 8, 9 companies now. It's just award-winning everything, and it all started with wine. So that's all good all the way around. But without any further ado, my new best friend in the entire world, meet Italia. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Rod?
I am doing fantastic. I'm really, really excited about the show. As I was talking about, you're an amazing person. Coming from amazing depths. I've had discussions with folks that are like in AI and the IT industry, and they came from difficult. And we talk about adding tools to yourself. And when you're starting out, and you're adding good tools or bad tools or whatever, you're going through the situation, you're fighting through all that, and then look what happens, man. Look at you. I don't want to say go girl. That sounds kind of stupid, but go girl. So come on, fill us in. We got some people coming up, floating in. I started a little early.
How do you see that?
I don't know. I don't know why you can't. I was a guest on somebody else's show. Oh, wow. Okay, we're at 30 people right now. I was a guest at somebody else's show, and I don't know why it doesn't. Oh, you know what? I couldn't tell because he didn't do it live. He did it at, he was one of my guests, so he asked me to be on his show, and so I did it. And he didn't go live. So I don't know. I really don't know.
I have it up here. It says comments, and it says live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, there aren't comments yet. I see the exact same thing you do. So hey, easy girl. So look at there. Somebody, you know what? Somebody heard you.
Watching, that is a journey. That is a nonprofit.
Oh, is that you? Oh, that's you. Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Fine. I was gonna crack up at you. I thought somebody in the audience went, well, don't worry, we're here. Don't worry. Yeah, I said usually I came on a little early because I got a little overexcited, I guess. But usually about 8, 9, 10 minutes, people will start asking the questions because that's why I always like to start with the journey because people are coming in. You watch, they're educated. They know what they know what the subject is, but they like to know that background because it really. I guess it opens people up. I don't know. They get all warm and fuzzy, whatever. I don't know. You guys tell them why. Oh, wait, hold on. So there. By the way, she is a. See, I thought that was what was going on the first time. Don't worry, we're here. Relax. She's always on the show. As a matter of fact, she's a great creator. I've known she's a digital. Never met her. Never anything. I don't actually know what she actually looks like, but I got an idea. But she is a very big fan and friend of the show. She also does the TikTok live. We actually do that together.
I'm going to do that for the first time, Ronaldo, and I'm actually not scared about it. I'm not nervous about it. I'm just going to go up there and do whatever, just try.
That's it.
A couple of days ago, and I'm like, I'm just going to because it's 2025.
A couple days?
Huh?
A couple days ago, you just pulled that stuff together?
Yeah, I just got the equipment, and I'm just like, I did the scripts through ChatGPT, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to talk about, and hopefully I can help other entrepreneurs that just want to chime in or join the chat or join the live and ask me questions, and move on, and maybe it's something I could build over time, and that way entrepreneurs can come to me, or people that want to start a business can come to me and ask me questions, and I could be there to answer as best as I can, or lead them to the
Absolutely. That's the thing about this whole show is coming to people who have expertise that that we don't normally have exposure to, and this is a great opportunity for somebody like you to give of yourself back to your community, and especially knowing where you've been through. And that's a powerful story to be able to, like you said, teach other people. I saw your thing from food stamps to making a very good, comfortable living, and that's part of the mission. And it's about going in yourself. I know we're going to hear about that. Let's not get into let's not get into questions yet, though. So tell the story.
Jack,
go back a little bit.
I'm answering Jack.
Oh no!
Sorry.
You got away. You gotta wait. There's like 3 or 4. Gotta wait. Stop it. What's your backstory? Tell us a little bit about where you came from.
Okay, so I grew up.
Roll into that.
I grew up in a large family.
Really?
Okay, I grew up in a large family. There's 5 of us, very poor. My father was a car salesman, but back in the day, when he was selling cars, they didn't need social security numbers. It was a very lucrative industry. It was almost like the housing industry when you didn't need to show income. It was a statement, right? This is when the housing crash happened. Okay, so way back in the day, he did car sales. He made a lot of money. My mom didn't have to work, but then inflation happened. Times changed. Social security numbers came about, and times got different. And my family became pretty poor. We went from middle class to low class, and it was a struggle, and it was a constant argument in the house. I mean, my parents never argued about who they were as a couple or jealousy, or it was always about the kids or money. And that was it. So, anyways, I did very well in school. I was always bullied. I was very quiet, but as far as like grades go, I did really well, and I had a bright future. I wanted to be a doctor, and then I went to a military academy by choice. I wanted to join the military. I love our country. I am a huge American lover, so I wanted to join the military, and that was my
What academy? I didn't know. What academy did you go to?
I went to the California Charter Military Academy. It's no longer there. It's now a firefighter academy. Yeah. But I loved it. I loved the structure. Wow. And then I started to go to college because I had extra credits, but they've never had anybody graduate early. And I was working full time. So I went to concurrent, and it's called concurrent enrollment, where you can go to college and high school at the same time. Right. And then I met a man there, and he was in the college class next to me. And then I got pregnant. And my parents being poor, my mom was like, well, what did you think was going to happen? And we can't help you. Like, you're on your own. So I looked at my parents, and they were married, and I thought, I'm pregnant, I'm young, but I had my shit together. I was working, I was going to school, I was fine. And I just figured my son's father and I would just be together forever and get married and live happily ever after, like my parents did, right? No, that's not what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not what happened. So I got emancipated at 16 and went off on my own with his father, and it was horrible. He was very abusive. He wasn't ready to be a father. And I think as a woman, I don't know if this happens with men or not, but as a woman, like as soon as you know you're pregnant, it changes something in you. You start living for somebody else instead of yourself, and it's a very interesting transition. And then when you see that child, man, your whole world changes. It's just this instant change where you go from being selfish 100%. To worrying about yourself to I don't even like every decision I've ever made from the moment he was born has been about him and our future. And what I wanted to build for us, and never about me. And I like it that way. It gives me purpose, right? But
yes, exactly.
I had to leave.
Can I jump in with you on that? And let's just hover there for a second, and then we can kind of transition into some of these. Hey, girl, some of these messages. You asked about that. Men do experience, at least I know I did. Just a quick story. My firstborn, who is why I moved down to this area, is I remember the moment, first time ever placing him into his crib. That moment on, like you said, every decision you've made, and now, the family's going on and moving on and growing and so forth, and grandchildren, all that, and that moment I realized was that person totally depends on me. Right. That's what you're talking about too, because every decision you make is about that. Well, I assume young manish now,
and that's
that young boy.
Those exact words is actually what keeps him on the straight and narrow today. Like, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't drink, he's an entrepreneur too. He goes to the gym, but he grew up with me. I was 16 when I got pregnant, 17 when I had him, but we really grew up together. He saw all the trials and tribulations, all the lessons that I've learned, and I always told him, I said, you know, like, I never chose to drink or do drugs because I needed to be here for you, and you're all I have and I'm all you have. So I need you to do the same thing for me. So I know the decisions that he makes, he always thinks about, you know, well, what would my mom do without me? Because I don't know what I would do without him. You know, everything I do is for him. So my whole
But
empire is to him.
That's a heck of an empire he's got on his shoulders there, or
Yeah.
however you would put that. That's an amazing story, and it's so true, because it's just what builds you from within, and like you're saying, you're looking in yourself, and what a proud moment every time he says something like that, because you know he's doing what he's doing because the lessons that you've been able to
He had a
lean
very
on
tough life.
about.
Yeah, he had a very tough life. You know, we were homeless 4 times, and we slept in my car. We slept in shelters, slept on Skid Row. I didn't even know it was Skid Row until I went back to volunteer, and I said, "Oh my God, I lived here." And I had no clue it was Skid Row. Yeah, I lived on Skid Row when Dominic was 6 months, probably to, I'd say 11 months, right around there. And I didn't know it was Skid Row. And I went back after my bachelor's degree to go help other people that I was homeless with, because I knew the barriers that some people were dealing with. And the people that actually wanted help, I really wanted to go back and help. And it was the most simple things. They needed their birth certificate. They needed their ID. They needed some kind of medical record. Not all of them are all there. And I knew I could help them after the education that I had with the law. I knew I could help them. I know how to go get the birth records now. I know how to go get this. I know how to go get that. So I went back to volunteer with this thing called Monday Night Mission. And
before you go on with Monday Night Missions, I just want to clear in my own mind something. Are you saying that there is a percentage of people? Now, there's people that are there because they're faculty, and that's probably a pretty good size number, percentage-wise. But then you also said it could be as simple as needing certain paperwork that they can't get a hold of, that can't get them off of the street. That's simple.
Have you met people that are all there, but they may not be very intelligent? And when I say that, I mean a very low IQ. They're not criminals. They're very sweet, very honest, very open, you know, and very small percentage of them, but there are, and they've just been left, you know, like, whether, I don't know what their home situation is or not, but they're kind of just going around, and they don't have kids, so they don't qualify to go into, you know, these other kind of shelters. They need help, and there's nobody to help them. And
you're saying that we have our American people that are in that situation right there. So none of it's their fault. And it's not even extreme. It's somebody that just has,
yes,
needs a little help. And we don't have people homing through things, and workers, social workers, kind of, wow, that's kind of sad, isn't it? That's kind of really sad.
And there is help for them out there, but help is more for, the priority is more for people that have children. But there is people out there that really need help, that don't even know how to get help, or don't even know that they need help. They just think they're normal, you know, but their IQ is very, very low, and they don't even know where to start to get help at. But yes, there's reasons why people are homeless. When I was there, some were by choice because they had warrants and they were hiding. Some were drug addicts. They choose drugs over, and they make a lot of money. They choose drugs over anything else, you know. There's people that are mentally ill, but probably due to drugs. And then there's people that are just mentally ill that who knows how they got there, but you know, they're there. And then there's people like me that just were, you know, didn't have a choice and didn't know where to turn and figured it out.
You know, it's very timely this statement that you're talking about. We got to get back to your charity that you started working on, because I think it adds color into the layers that you were just talking about right now. But it's very timely because more and more and more and more, you talk about, you were middle class, and your family fell out of into a lower class environment. But how many percentage of middle class American people are living check to check? That's a very famous term right now. A couple of bad things happen,
People are going in debt because they're using their credit cards. I've been there. They are applying for credit cards just to survive. This is the world we're living in right now. People are working 2, 3, 4 jobs to survive. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that people are working like a dog. It's horrible. It's horrible. We are supposed to be working to live, not living to work. We are all living to work, including myself, but I'm not complaining because I built this. I created this monster that I'm doing, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, this is your fault. This is totally your fault.
But I've been there. My assistants are there. I have, one of my assistants has been with me now for 6 years, and now she's got 2 or 3 other clients, and I would never tell her this, but I know that she's making careless mistakes now, but it's not her fault. I don't say anything because I know she's working 2, 3 jobs just to survive, and they're barely surviving. Her and her husband make over $10,000 a month, and they live in an apartment that they can't get out of. They're stuck there because every year they increase the rent, and every year inflation, more and more and more, and they're stuck because she says, I'm only one person. I'm working 12 hours a day. I'm like, I know, I see it, I get it, but she's only one person. What do you do?
Yeah. You keep pushing, but you change. Einstein, right? You keep doing the same thing over and over again. With
different result. Yeah.
Result, right?
The definition of insanity.
Exactly right. Jeff, what was the very first step you took in turning things around? So we just talked about your assistant, that you're seeing things. Yeah. And there was a step in there that had one of many, I'm sure. Let's say another one. The step of the journey of 1,000 miles begins with
one step.
First step. So what was the first step you took to start turning things around? And you said the turnaround wasn't, oh, I did it. Okay. See you guys. It was back and forth a little bit.
Progress. It was progress, dedication.
Forward, back, forward. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, learning your lessons. I mean, you mean is the question regarding the homelessness? Where'd you go?
I already told you about that. I was getting caught up on the thing.
I'm talking to myself. I'd rather talk to you.
No, you're talking to Jeff. Oh, so do I have to do this? I warned you about the look of that. Hold on. Let's at least do that. There, we got a broader view there.
Okay, so when you're asking what was the very first step, are you talking about from when I was homeless? So
what Jeff Lamb on the show here is asking you, what was the very first step you took to turn things around? And as we started to talk about it, you actually had you said your son and you were homeless 3 separate times, right?
4 times.
4 times. So,
4.
And what's that?
I said 4 times.
Okay. And I just had another voice come in my head. Oh, is that scary? I hope that's not. I hope that was in here. The progress isn't a straight line. I like to use the example. There's a journey, and you're on a journey. Just add lights to people's journey so they don't fall off, or can get back on the journey, right?
Yeah, you get it. Yes, I feel like that's the purpose in life, and I'm harnessing it because I love it. And you've heard the saying of a diamond in the rough, right? I went through so much, like everybody's had their own journey, but I went through so much that I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through every single one of those things. And some of those broke me. I thought I was done. I've been suicidal. I've been to the point where, I was sleeping in my car, sleeping on the streets in a tent. Like, I've been to points where I'm like, where is there to go from here? All I can do is try, and that's taking that first step. If that's what he's talking about, it's, you got to try. You got to start looking for the answer. There's a way out. If there's a will, there's a way, always.
I got to believe that's exactly the question he was wondering, because, a lot of people want to say, okay, what's the first thing solidly I do? Well, it's not necessarily a physical action. It's that dedication. It's a software. It's not a hardware. It's the thinking, that dedication, staying to it, because it's not going to stay easy, right?
Right.
How did you keep believing in yourself? Kind of doubling down here a little bit with Jack is with. Well, how did you keep believing in yourself when others doubted you? And along the line, there was people that were saying, "Yeah, but how did you keep pushing that?"
They still do.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah. I don't care.
How do you do that?
Because I have such a big vision for my empire, which it's now here. It's just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But I have such a big vision that anybody would call me crazy. And I'm okay with that. But you have to be a little bit crazy to do what I've done, to build an empire. You got to be a little bit out there. And a lot of people can't wrap their head around it. And that's why they doubt you, because they know that they couldn't do it. They don't even know where to start. And so that's not my problem. I'm going to continue to do it. And they can sit back and watch, or they can ask me how, and I can help them.
Oh, I love that. You have this amazing sharpened pedal.
What?
Very soft, sharpened pedal. In other words, you have a very beautiful, soft, like a rose, like a petal, and then, or I can help them. You have that beautiful impact in the statements that you're making. It really adds to the story that you're bringing to people. I mean, as a coach, somebody will obviously catches on to that. How I talked earlier that we like to be a little goofy because people learn better that way than blah 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 blah. Yeah. And listening to you talk, I love that confidence that is surrounding that softer, more empathetic inside. So I call it a sharper edged paddle. That's just giving you a little compliment there. Sorry, that was a long, drawn-out explanation. So the compliment went away, but it was there somewhere.
I appreciate
somewhere in there. It was, yeah, you bet. So I know the answer to this. I can almost guarantee I know the answer to this. Why don't you ask this question? Would you, Daniel? I appreciate it, and Jack, thank you for the question a second ago. Would you read that, please?
Was there a mentor who guided you along the way? Unfortunately, not.
Oh, come on. Okay. Let me change it. Who was your most important reason for doing what you're doing?
Oh, my son.
There we go.
Yeah. Every decision
I thought for sure you were going to dive into that. Go ahead. Tell me that story.
It was when you have a kid, you just realize that every decision first of all, in life, all the ups and downs that I went through, I knew it was because of the only decisions I made. I could have left my son's father a long time ago, but my dumb ass kept running back. He would abuse me. My mom would take me in, and then I'd go running back to his ass, So I realized when I was homeless, I was there because it was my decision. My dad sat on the porch crying, begging for me to move home. But I had this fantasy and this vision of me getting married, moving in with him, and us living happily ever after and having our own family. And that was the decision that I made. So here I was, homeless. I had shunned my family out for a year now, hadn't spoken to anybody because I thought I knew better, and they were right all along. And I realized that every decision that I made wasn't going to only affect my life anymore. It was going to affect my son's too, because it wasn't his problem, and it was my fault that we were on that street. And it wasn't a choice for me to go give him to his father. His father denied him. So it was, it wasn't, my son had a really rough life, and it was because of the things that he's been through that has driven me to be like, I want to make sure when I leave this earth, he has a beautiful future. I'm not leaving him with debt. I'm not leaving him with heartache. And I'm breaking the cycle of poverty in my family.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm so glad I asked you to kind of fill that in the coloring there, because that's a beautiful story you have. It's
he's the love of my life.
I believe we have another Italian here. She's been on the show a number of times. And see, this one's a little harder. And Tony, Gigio.
Antoine.
Giga. Can you say that last name? Here?
Antoine Gigal. Gigal?
Oh, look at you.
Am I right?
That was
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, but that was perfect. See, I told you there's an accent in there. You slid through that name really well. That rolled really well. How important is daily routine in doing what you're doing?
100% important. I am a creature of habit, and it's very unfortunate. Okay, I am autistic, so this has a little bit to do with this. But if my daily routine is off,
Whoa,
I am completely off.
Okay, well, no, finish this, but we're gonna go back to that autistic for a second because that was a curveball.
Oh, so my daily routine, I'm a creature of habit. When it comes to my hair, my nails, my clothes, my shopping, my groceries, it's all the same all the time. You'll find the same stuff in my fridge, same clothes in I'm just weird like that, but it has to do with my autism. I scored a 21, which is really high. My son scored the exact same score. So my daily routine is very important.
So you're literally on the scale, and that keeps you together. That's a whole nother level here. That's very awesome.
Together, but it also throws me off if my daily routine is thrown off. So if my schedule is not, if I don't have my tea in the morning, if I don't have my workout during the day, if I don't accomplish X, Y, and Z, if I don't, I have to have this daily routine or it throws me off. But besides the autism part, if I wake up every morning, I listen to manifestation music. You can go on YouTube and Google that. And there's some for girls, there's some for men. I like to listen to motivational speeches sometimes when I'm feeling discouraged because not every day is going to go, up to par. So I like to have my tea in the morning. I have to have a workout every single day I go to the gym. I read, I go through my emails. So I work kind of like somebody would at a cubicle when they go to their 9-to-5 job. I'm sure they have a list of everything that they have to do. That's how my days go. And I'm in bed by a certain time.
Wow, that's very, very interesting, and there's where you're creating habits that repeat themselves. The results repeat themselves. You found that system. Yes. Now you've been able to multiply it across several platforms.
Yes.
Before we go on here with anything of the other stuff, I know you have 9 companies. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're an author.
That's part of it.
Yes.
That's a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's
whole business. So yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Your companies, what you do, and how that all works, and because I'm seeing that multiplication now. It's a great time to talk about it, if you don't mind. Tell them about yourself.
Sure. And the multiplication. So what I'm gonna say right now is gonna be long and drawn out, but it has to do with the multiplication and how I got there.
Sure, absolutely, that's what I want. Listen, I told you I have a little bit of a. We're okay on time. Do you have any hard stops right now?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah,
I have to turn something off on the stove. So give me one moment.
All right. I took I actually sang a song on here the other day. Not the other day, about a month ago. It's so fun. I like this show. It's a lot of fun. Did you get it turned off? You all set?
Yes, all set. We're good to go.
All right, we're good to go. So let's start building that story about what this is that you're doing, what you have, because it's an empire. There's individual companies. They're maybe related in some ways.
They're all under a holding company. They're all under a trust.
There you go.
Company.
Tell me about this.
They're all different businesses. So I put this system in place, and I put the system in place because I had built a business that it was scaled very, very quickly. People told me that I was scaling too quick and that it was going to fail. Rod, I don't like this. I'm sorry, but I'm talking to myself and I don't like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that by the way, you're talking to
I can't even stay on track because I'm talking to myself.
I was looking at you and I was thinking, okay, something's going through my. See, one thing, it makes me a lot easier because I have to look up here, so I'm looking at you.
Okay.
But this
So it's
is
harder for
looking
you?
at you. Yeah, well, no, it's easier for me because I get to listen. I get to cheat some. I get to sit back at every one of these shows. I told you this is a 315th show of our series since we started.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, you are the 350, and I become a better person every time because I get to do this. I had to bring my screen down a little bit. I had to rearrange things a little bit. So now I have to look up here. So you think I'm talking to you when actually now I'm talking to you. So when I'm off stage, I just see what you're saying. I just see your face and your message. Now I can hear it. Fine. I can see you, but I can't see exactly what I can't read your body language and all that. It's just part of communication. You know?
Okay.
So I am the host. You are my guest. And as my guest, please, I will stay here with you. I will hold your hand and we will enjoy this conversation. I mean that, I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean like buddy, you know, I'm here with you. Let's talk. I got your eyeballs.
Okay.
I got your eyeballs.
Go ahead. So I built 3 businesses before I put the system in place and I realized it worked. So I had 2 paralegal businesses and I scaled the first one, but I didn't have any employees. So when I say scaled a business, your podcast, do you have any employees working for you or is it just you? You do the editing, you do everything. So you scaled it.
Yeah, well, I do have some outside contractors, but I do everything.
You do everything.
So every once in a while, I need help with something.
To where you're at, I'm sure you've learned marketing, branding, all that stuff, right? So I learned all that through the paralegal businesses. But what I didn't learn is the taxes, the accounting, the bookkeeping, payroll, employees, bonds, insurances. I didn't know anything about that stuff. So when I shut down the 2 paralegal businesses, I went to entrepreneurship. I quit the government job. I worked for the government as an analyst for 10 years, blew the whistle, quit, and I went to dancing full time in Vegas. And that was the beginning of entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You cheated me out of the beginning of your story. Your layer's more deep than you've already told me. That's right. Well, I wouldn't call you that. Okay, we'll go with that.
So then I went to go dancing, and I went from literally, like, my son and I pushed my car into a gas station one day. And this is after 3 degrees and 10 years with the government. So I blew the whistle and I left. I was done. I had enough. And I went to go dance. And I danced when my son was young, and it was very good money. And I went back and forth. But my whole goal was to get out of it. That's why I went to college. That's why I went to go work for the government, you know, and it didn't do anything. I was still broke. So I quit, went back to dancing, but I figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in Vegas. I'm going to do it right where the big money's at. Then COVID hit. My son and I were finally on top of the world. He was going to the most prestigious private school. I was driving a BMW. He was driving his dream car. He had straight A's. We were just living the life. Yeah, we were living the life. And then COVID hit. And I had $20,000 a month in bills. I had this great savings. I had my roof had gold in it, like gold bars in it. And I was it took me from being homeless to get there. I was very proud, you know, lost it all in COVID. So I started cleaning homes, and I was cleaning homes for like $100, and I got super busy, and all of it was really word of mouth. And then I was like, I need help. If I'm going to scale this, I need help, because every month we were told we're going to reopen. We never reopened, right? And I was exhausting through my savings. So I ended up hiring my first employee, but I had to do it right because we're doing physical work. And I thought about, I don't want to get sued. So then I had to get the insurance, then I had to get the bond, and then I had to get everything else. And then I ended up just building this business. Thirsty. I ended up building this business. Next thing you knew, I had 65 employees, and my contracts we took over MGM, Nellis Air Force Base.
Oh, wow.
And, biggest contracts in Nevada. Did amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I decided to start another company. So I started grout and carpet cleaning, and I taught myself through YouTube how to clean carpet and how to remove grout, how to restore grout, how to clean grout, and it was very lucrative. One of the most lucrative niches that I found in the cleaning service. So I started a whole different side company. That way I could brand both of them and sell them separately. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
what I did was I took the system that I learned through Magic.
Hold on, wait. Come back to that again. You said brand one company with two different services?
No. So I built Magic Maids and scaled it in the matter of a year and a half. I would say I scaled it to where I did, but I learned a lot of hard lessons along the way. But I was like, if I take this system and I apply it to another company, can I build again?
Yes.
And then I taught myself how to do grout and stuff like that. And then I started building that business, but I was the only employee for that business because I was just kind of testing the waters.
Yeah.
Man, I ended up getting a carpet cleaning truck. I got a grout cleaning truck. I trained a couple guys, and that was it. It's done. And I said, my system works. Now you still have the stress of as an entrepreneur of building a business, but
absolutely.
But the pressure was gone of how do I do it? How do I do this? And now I know how to do it. And then sold those businesses and moved here to New York and kind of twiddled my thumbs because I was bored. I reached where all of us, we talk about our end goal, right? What are we working so hard for? But what we don't realize is when you get there, it wasn't about the end goal. It's all about the journey. Everything that you've done on the way to get there, that is what makes life worth living. When I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs going, okay, I'm retired and I'm 35 and yeah, this is stupid. That's really what I thought. Like, what a meaningless life I was living. I was walking an hour and a half to my tanning salon, spending 4 hours at the gym. It was fun. Laying out by the pool. I was traveling the world. It was great, but I did not feel fulfilled. I was lost as far as like
empty.
Yeah. Money buy happiness. Money's great. Success is great, but what is success, right? Like, what would you define success as? Just having money in your bank and traveling the world and posting on Instagram, oh, I got this, and I got that. And then it just it fizzled away. I haven't traveled in a year. I haven't bought designer stuff in years, probably 3 years. I don't care to. Now I'm just building businesses and giving back, and I love it. But I took this system. Hang
on before you move on. I'm just going to show you this comment because it's so perfect for what you just said.
Oh yeah,
Clayton. That's exactly what you were just talking about.
Yeah,
that. I had to show that to you. Go on. So you got that system. You sold those. Now you're ready to go. Here we go.
I got in the entertainment industry, and when that was out of necessity, by the way. But I got in the entertainment industry, and I took my system.
What part?
Movies.
Of the movies? Okay.
Yeah. And I took my system and I branded myself as a person. And I built a huge following. And I blew up in the industry that I did in the 9 months that I was in. And I took my following, got out, and published my first book. And that's what I did. And then I started building my course. And my course is about branding and building yourself and your entire business. So now I created this course that is a roadmap from beginning all the way to the end to build your business from the time you file your paperwork to scaling it. And it's the system that I put in place with all my businesses. It doesn't matter the niche because now I've had products from services, physical services, to branding yourself as a person, to actual physical products and alcohol, wine, spirits, and beauty products. And
the wine was a 4-time award winner, wasn't it?
Oh no, the wine is a 5-time award-winning wine. All 3 SKUs are all 5-time award-winning wines. And my books, I've won awards with my books. This is all. It doesn't matter the niche. My system will work as long as you're dedicated. Entrepreneurship is not like, here's a roadmap, have fun, and it's going to be easy. It's never easy. you always have to pivot because laws are changing, audiences change, how you market changes. Like right now, people were using AI a lot, and these AI reels would go viral, right? But now, they're trying to demonetize AI because there's been a lot of deepfake stuff that's coming out that shouldn't be, right? And now you have to switch up your marketing. Guess what? You can't use AI anymore. They want your real voice. They want the real person. And then times have changed. What? Back in the day, we used to use the yellow pages. Times are changing, so you have to pivot. So this roadmap.
And Thomas Brothers.
Yeah,
and payphones.
And payphones, yes. But you know,
showing this yesterday.
So my roadmap really works on any niche, but you just have to be willing to pivot as well. And
I see what we're talking about in the green room as far as what your companies do, and being able to work together on some of those, because your system is dialed in, and I can tell you right now that have you put the private chat, your contact information in yet? You know, we got like 310 people here now.
Hello, people. Okay, so you want
hi,
me
people.
to chat?
You throw that contact information in there, and because you know how. Well, now, did you say this is your first podcast that you've done?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. I saw a couple others. But when you said something, just this location, I'm guessing when you opened up, you just got the equipment and said you're going to jump on.
Oh, yeah, because I'm going to go live actually for the first time, and I'm just going to have random people ask me questions about business, or as an employee or as an employer, because I can answer all of those questions as much as I can. But there's 100%. A lot of
so you're talking about in your community then.
Yeah, like I just want to go live, and I want to stream and just have, people ask me questions. Maybe they want to start a business, or some people are just like employees. I have friends that are not entrepreneurs, and they'll rant and rave about their boss, and I always have their boss's back, and I'm like, that's not why they're doing that, or stop taking it personal. They probably have other stuff going on. It's not all about you, there's a lot of, just questions that I can ask for people, kind of become an SME,
a bridge between, whether you're the boss and you have issues, or you're the issue and you have a boss, or you might be both. Yeah.
I've been in both positions, so can definitely try to help there.
That is very cool. Did you put it on? Okay. So we are going to go on to, so we saw this. No, wait. No, did he ask no, that's a different question, right? How do you define success now? Yep. And then what advice would you give your younger self today?
I would say keep going. It's going to be okay. That's all I would tell myself, because I went through so much, just like everybody else, but there's so many times when I wanted to give up. I was suicidal one time. One time I was just like, might as well just be homeless. No wonder people choose to be homeless. There's times when I almost gave my son up for adoption. That was probably something I was homeless. We were living in a squatter's home, and I didn't even know what a squatter was back then. I mean, I was so young. We would get water from across the street and pour it down the toilet to make the toilet flush. And this wasn't how I wanted my son to live. And it was bad. There's times when, I really wanted to give up, but, I didn't. And I just wish I had somebody that pat me on the back and be like, hey, it's all going to be for a reason. It's another thing. Everything was for a reason. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through every single one of the traumas that I went to, trials and tribulations.
100%. That brings me to a question. If you don't mind, I'll just kind of add into what Lori's saying here. What advice would you give your younger self? I think that would you? It's a complicated question. Shouldn't be. So you went through some things, and there was some people in your life, not your family. That's a different scenario. Assume you grew up in a good home, but just had a tough time. But then you went with a man that wasn't
dysfunctional, but not as bad as other people's homes life were. You know, like back then it was all horrible, but now I'm like, nah, I've seen worse.
Oh, hell yeah, exactly. I mean, dysfunctional is kind of pretty average.
Normal, right?
Yeah, but then you went with that man that was that next level. And I mean, would you have still not now looking back, because you are where you are, would you have not wanted, your younger self, would you tell that younger self for that man, that person, don't run out of this if you're running into something that's unknown, because it may be this is what happened to me? Or would you not? I mean, that was part of your story. So was that something you wouldn't have wanted to? Well, of course you wouldn't have wanted. You know what I'm trying to get to?
I get it.
Okay, please help me. If I get an answer.
If I would have went home, I wouldn't have been through everything I've been through. If I would have went home, my mom and dad, they would have supported me, and they would have, I'm sure they would have made a good job and whatever else, but I literally would not be who I am today. My father gave me tough love. My mom didn't want to. She's the softie. She's always a softie. But my father gave me tough love. He kicked me out more times than you could imagine. And I wasn't even a bad kid. I wasn't out doing drugs or anything like that, but he was hardcore, you know? And you know, if it wasn't for him, I think they were disappointed that I got pregnant. I think I was the one that they were like, this one's going to be a doctor and do this. And then I went and got pregnant. As a parent, I get it now. It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you know, but yeah,
that girl, you know,
everything I went through, even, I'm glad I didn't go back. I'm glad I didn't go back to my home, to my mom, and go run to them, because I wouldn't have gone through what Dominic's father put me through. That was another great learning lesson for me. Evil exists, and it's good to know that it's there, because then you're more aware of your surroundings. You're more aware of the people that you let in your circle, the people that you lay down in bed with, you know. And I'm glad I went through what I went through.
Yeah, no, I mean, it like you said, at the end of the day, your story is complete. Or up to this moment, you are the full sum of what's your experiences today. It's like we always say, right? Somebody standing right next to me is watching this, and they have a completely different reaction, because their life is different. Their life experiences have caused them to have that image be processed in a way, because they're looking at that lens through their own eyes, right?
Exactly.
So your book has got some. Oh, by the way, let's go. Clive here, Clive Rude. Cool name. Wow, what an inspiring story! Congrats, Italia.
Thank you, Clive.
That's awesome, and I got that up there for you also, just by the way. But so what are you working on now? What's your book about? We haven't really talked much about that stuff. And did we even finish the rest of your businesses? Because I know we got into a couple of them, and the one I was really fascinated, because I'm an author, started this because of the book, and now I can't get back to the book because of this, and it's just growing, and it's wonderful. We do AI in one of our communities. Just starting that's actually starting in 2 months. And then I'm this sponsorship thing. So we're kind of getting to that point. I ran a machinery business for 30 years. I built it up, and we're at about 5. And then as you know, that next step is like 12. That changes the company from 1 to 5. That's a different company. Talk about scaling. Then from 5, let's say, to whatever the numbers are, but let's say that 5 to 12. That's another level, and then you get to 30, and then whatever might be on there. But we were on that next to 12, and I always hated what I was doing. I really did. I hated. I mean, I raised. Well, here's the thing. I hated the business. I'm an engineer by interest, but I'm an entrepreneur, and as that goes. But what I realized later in life is that I loved building the businesses, and marketing the businesses, and making this, because I would use, I've done this for years. It used to be called Insights, and I would interview industry leaders. But I did that as a marketing thing, and it worked really well. I mean, we were growing like, and that was back when AI didn't cost you 36/100th of a penny to send a marketing program. It cost you 14 grand to do. And now it's a lot better and a lot easier. So scaling stuff is really exciting, like what you're talking about, because now you have a system and now you can plug some things into it. And so my mind's just going crazy when you were talking about your businesses. We didn't get to the last ones though, did we? Because I kind of dove right there and wanted to add color and hovered for a while and do all that. Did we get to the other ones that you were talking about?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I didn't think so. My head's still going on. Go. Sorry. Make this a better point than I'm doing with it.
I have my own wine line, and I created that. It's more around wellness and health conscious individuals. And I have acid reflux really bad. I'm not a big drinker, but if I do drink, it's usually a glass of red wine. That's my favorite. It's very good for your digestive. It's just good for your, it's if you're going to drink, I think it's red wine. That's the best thing that you can drink. Right. And then if I'm out with my girlfriends, I'll have a mimosa, and that's about it. But I wasn't able to drink at all anymore because my acid reflux, it would burn really bad. Let me tell you how good AI is. I used ChatGPT. I wanted to find out what makes wine acidic, how to change it, if you can change it. And I did. And then I contacted every single winery in Napa and Lodi, in Italy, everywhere that you could imagine that has the best grapes. Because if I'm going to put my name on it, and if I'm going to pour this much money into it, it's got to be the best of the best, right? So I found a winery in Napa, and I explained to him. I sent him an email, and he said, sure, let's try it. When a lot of people weren't. A lot of people that do white label, they just want to make their own blend and say, put your label on it, that's it. And he's like, sure, but it's going to be, MOQs and stuff like that. I'm like, all right.
And you got to go through some stuff. It's not a simple process, right?
Oh gosh, no. That
it's food. It's ag,
It is the hardest business I've ever cracked into, and it is not 100% where I want it to be at yet, but it's getting there, and I just have to sit here. It's just the timing of.
Wait, whoa! Hold on a second. You just said something to the effect, and maybe I missed it totally, that it's not where you want it to be. Your wine business is not where you want it to be. Shake your head, yes or no?
I want to be global.
Not yet.
I want to be like
you're 5-time award winning.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. You want to be global. So you've only got part of the accolades. You got to get the rest of the accolades.
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta get into so this is something. I'm not a wino, so people that drink wine need to understand this. I created this wine label, but I am not a wino. I don't know much about wine. I've never been to a chateau. I've never been to like any of these wine tasting events. I did it out of kind of necessity. I wanted to drink my red wine. I wanted to make something that I can enjoy. And then I found out I'm not the only one with this issue. I did something called a Pollfish survey. And it was a global, survey. I don't recall the numbers off the top of my head, but it's somewhere around like 47% of people experience this or know somebody who experiences it, which is acid reflux with the red wine. Wow. And 57% said that they would switch if they had an alternative. So I created a low acidic wine. And I'm having a very hard time, though, presenting this concept to winos who have been in the wine industry for years, and they want high acidic wine because it ages better. I want to enjoy my wine now. I've had my brush with death. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, but I made some really good wine, and it's won 5 awards. And I want to enjoy it now, not 20 or 30 years from now sitting in a cellar. So I'm having a hard time with these people in the wine industry that have been in it for years. They're not kind of grasping the concept, but I've done this survey that cost me thousands of dollars so they can see there is a demand. And I created a Chardonnay next to the red. That is the same thing. Okay. It's acidic. These are lab tested, by the way. So 3.77 as a pH balance is perfect acidity. It's low, it's velvety smooth, but it's not too low to where it doesn't age well at all, where it goes bad. The higher acidity, the better wine ages. And I didn't know that when I started this. I had no clue. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want my wine to sit in a cellar for 20, 30 years. So to me, it doesn't matter. But it is special made, and it's very, very good. And then I have a mimosa. I called it a magic mimosa, and I trademarked a whole new category. It's called citrus sparkling. So you have your mixed drinks.
That's a beautiful name. Citrus sparkling for a mimosa
category. I trademarked it because I talked to Costco.
Oh, it's a whole category.
Yeah,
that's a good name. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I talked to Costco. I talked to distributors, and they're saying this exact same thing. Well, it's not going to fit on the shelf with the mixed drinks because it's not mixed. And I said, no, it's not. That's the point of it. Well, it's not going to fit on the shelf with champagne because it's not champagne. Exactly. It's going to fit on its own category, which is a citrus sparkling. It's a wine. If I had to choose, due to health reasons, if I had to choose between champagne or wine, I'm going to choose wine, right? And the mimosas, I'm not going to put this much orange juice and this much, what is it, Prosecco or whatever the cheapest champagne is in my mimosa. I'm not going to drink that. So I made something that's a sparkling wine, and it's made with the zest of an orange and the zest of a grapefruit. It tastes just like a mimosa. It's lab tested as well. It's half.
Oh, is that what you're drinking, by the way? I didn't look at it.
Oh, no, no sugar. It's just.
Oh, okay. Oh, what am I saying? You wouldn't be doing that now anyway. Yeah, because you said you drink tea. Go ahead.
So it's lab tested as well. It's half the calories and half the sugar of a standard mimosa. And it's twice the alcohol content because it's not diluted with anything.
Oh.
So
okay. You got it on all levels.
You want me to bring a bottle? You want to see the bottle?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my awards on it. So.
Oh, geez, look at that! Holy cow!
For all the awards.
Oh, dang! Carrying some weight there.
So I'm going to change the label to where it's a little bit more feminine, but it's called the Mimosa Magic.
Yeah. So what are you going to change the music? Change the label. You're going to add some different colors.
Well, okay, I don't like the color of it. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I want to hide the color with a prettier bottle or maybe even a black bottle. And I want to redesign the logo to where it's a little bit more feminine, maybe some flowers, more citrusy, so people understand what it is.
Some blues, some whites.
Yeah.
Mimosa is more of a light. Although I get, because mimosa I get that color, but I think the blue more like my logo here, or like you see on your thing here. It's, the mimosa is more of a. I get it right. It's fresher, isn't it?
Yes, and this tastes like so fresh, and that's what everybody says.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my
blues.
Gosh, it's fresh, and it's not sugary. It's so good. It's the best seller. Wow. It's so good.
I got to get you to send me one now.
Yeah, they've never made anything like it, so I got it trademarked, and I'm just waiting for somebody that's innovative and a visionary like me to say, "Let's go. Let's put it in Costco. Let's put it in the shelves." I can drive the traffic. That's what my specialty is. I can build the whole thing. I can run everybody there for social media influencers. I can get them at your stores. They're selling very well online, and only 18 to 20% of consumers purchase wine online. People that purchase wine, like 18 to 20% of wine connoisseurs, they purchase wine online because they're part of a subscription of a special wine. So people that are going to want something like this are going to want to go grab it at a store. Or if you had bottomless mimosas at your brunch place, if I had a choice between a standard mimosa or this, I would choose this. If I had that option. Bottomless mimosa.
Parties.
Yeah.
Mimosa parties.
Yeah.
Remember like when Pepsi and Coke did their blind test? You could do that with an influencer, and they go around to different locations. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea.
Hey, we were talking about something back there. Maybe instead we'll do a little series of that.
That's a
and
great
the
idea.
sponsorship thing. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we could have some fun.
Yes.
I think we could have, I got to get better lighting though. For some reason, I got really dark. Hey, man, I've got to jump on here, but you hang out for me in the green room, but give me some finishing stuff here because you still got another business. I don't think we got to yet, dude.
So, Baxter Learns to Save is a book that I made
about you teaching in at home.
What?
That's the one I saw where you were teaching. You talk about teaching your kids at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We're, our education system is toast. It's trash. It really is. It sucks. It's horrible. And this is one thing that we're missing is financial literacy. They teach us
one of many things, but absolutely the biggest thing, financial literacy. Couldn't agree with you more.
They teach you to master a skill, climb the corporate ladder and retire and live off of your pension, right? They don't teach you to save. Nobody teaches you that. And then when you come from a household that's poor like I did, that's the last thing anybody's thinking about is let's save when they're living check to check or they're maxing out their credit cards just to survive. And I feel like if we teach children financial literacy at a young age, it's something they'll have with them forever. And I tested it with my son. It does work. But I created, so Baxter Learns to Save is now a 10-book series in 2 different languages. It's being turned into a cartoon. It's now an app. So children can go on the app and it teaches them how to diversify. It teaches them how to invest, how to save, and then also how to spend. And it's also educational toys. So if you go to www.baxtersaves.com right now, you'll see the educational toys, and it's all educational.
That's on there, right? Hold on, is that on? Yeah, it's the last one. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in about 3 months, Baxter Learns to Save will have all the cartoons up, the app will be done, everything will be done. But right now, you can just buy the toys. And then the Tornabene collection is all my books. What?
I got something for this show,
for
that book. So this show, Insights and Straight Talk, right? That's the show. But we have several lanes, I like to call it. And sort of the AI thing and this thing and that. My granddaughter and I do a show together. She's 16 years old. My youngest son had a high school, well, very similar, a young relationship. They were in high school, sweethearts, got married in college, had her very early on, and she's now 16 years old. So I may actually have great grandchildren someday. She wants to wait till she's about 24. Anyway, her and I have a great relationship. And we do a show together, and it's called Insights and Straight Talk with Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod.
Aww.
Right. I'm not bad at marketing. I love this marketing. I love doing that. Did you see me pause because I knew it was coming? I love that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm not marketing myself right now. But anyway, that book might be really good for that show. We're on our 5th episode right now.
Is it going good?
Next one will be 6. It's going really good. It's going really good. We've got like 500 people in the last show, 528 people or so. Yeah. Amazing. And it's all about being a kid. And now there's a lot. You and her would talk very well together. She's very attractive. I'm biased, but she is very attractive. And she, makeup. She goes through her routines every morning, and that puts her in her space for the day. And so we talk about makeup and clothes and stuff, but we talk about what it's like for kids in communicating with adults. Very much like your story with your son. You had to do that. My son and her, my son, my daughter and her, my daughter-in-law and her, they have a great relationship. They communicate. We communicate. I went through a lot with my son. He didn't go through a lot with me. I went through a lot with him, and it all worked out. But so I started bugging her about it about 2-3 months ago, and finally she said, okay. And then she's like, oh, wow, okay, this is cool.
Like that.
People are asking her questions, what's it like to How do you get past your parent doing this? How does my daughter acts like this? How did you handle bullying in school? And this and that. And she goes through the things from her perspective, but it's all about going back and looking within herself, like you talked about. So she's got a good base.
That's amazing.
I don't know why I was saying that. I forgot what I was saying there. Go into your book. Go ahead.
Wait a second. If she talks about beauty, I do have a luxury beauty line, which I just sent you the URL to that. Yeah. So are you ready for this? Remember, I'm a visionary, okay? So I like to do things a little bit different. I created a makeup line that is actually skincare. It's all healthy.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. It's so as I get older, when you put makeup on, it actually makes you look older. When you're younger, it might look good, it might look cute, but the more makeup I put on, the less I like it.
You're drying stuff out, and you're affecting the cells in some way, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then I took off my eyelashes. I stopped wearing makeup, and I've never felt so liberated, I guess you would say, right? But then I created this luxury makeup line where it's like tinted moisturizer. So it looks like concealer, but it's not. And you can put as much as you want on it, instead of a real fine makeup, it's just moisturizer. And then liquid blush, because the powder dries out.
That's the blush that's on your cheeks right now?
It's just liquid.
Wow.
And then I got some mascara stuff, but it's like to help your eyelashes grow. Beard oil, you'll like it. If you run the ingredients through ChatGPT, it'll tell you how it helps you grow your beard and how it helps it get fuller. Yeah, it's really, really good stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I look forward to chatting more about that. Yeah, no doubt. So you've got that. Did we miss anything now? I don't remember what number we're at now.
My books, and then Empower Her Journey is an important one. So Empower Her Journey.
Yes, that's the coaching.
No, that's the nonprofit. That's the nonprofit.
I'm sorry. Yes. What is that about? I'm sorry. I read about a nonprofit. It's on your main page. I'm sorry. I totally went blank on that. Go ahead.
All of my businesses, every book that I sell, everything that I do, 20% of it goes to the nonprofit. And I just help single mothers in any capacity possible. I've been there where you're making too much to be on the county aid and to have help, and then you're making too little.
There's a lot of
to do. So I've been there, and it's the middle class, unfortunately. It's a
lot of people that are there.
Yeah, but they say that, but for you to get qualified for any of this aid, you're making too much. What are you talking about? I'm making too much. My credit cards are maxed out. I can't pay the bills, but I don't qualify for this. They want to keep you stuck. Like, if you're going to be poor, you have to be super poor and live off of the system, because God forbid you get extra hours or make a little bit extra money, you're kicked off the system, right? You're trapped.
Yes.
So I created this nonprofit for single mothers. And honestly, I've been really heavily thinking about just expanding it to single parents across the board, because I realize now that there's just as many single fathers as there are single mothers now. But having a one household income and having to supply for everybody else, it's impossible. It's 2025. People are working multiple jobs in households where both parties are working. It's bad. So I just want to give grants away to people, whether it's for school supplies, gas money, rent, groceries, whatever it is that they need.
It's timely too, because I was on another person's show and it was more politically based. And so he was on my show. He asked me on his. I think I mentioned that earlier. But one thing we were talking about is how this generation now today is really the first generation since World War II, probably, that isn't doing better than the previous generation. To the point of not being able to get houses. This whole small homes, tiny homes, and all that. There was a thing that was a cool thing. It still is, I think, a little bit. But honestly, it's probably more about savings. They don't have it. And people are waiting until their 30s to have kids because they want to be able to put something together before that happens. So it's a big deal, isn't it?
Have you also thought about this, though? How you can go rent an apartment out for I pay a lot here, okay, for a lot of money, but you can't go buy a home because you don't qualify for it. But the home mortgage would be $2,000 a month. So you know what I did? I started a petition where I want my rent to be counted towards to be on my credit report, because that'll increase my score, but it'll also if I could pay $11,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment for 3 years, I can pay $2,000 a month for a home, and you can't tell me otherwise. So I started a petition.
I want to be there. I want to come in. I want to come and get some coffee with you. Okay,
but
that's no doubt.
It's a flaw right now that needs to change, and people cannot live the American dream because of a lot of that. But why is it we're stuck in these apartments, and how are you supposed to save? Like my assistant that I was telling you about, when her and her husband make a little bit over 10 grand a month, but they don't have the money to move. They don't have 20 grand to move and then put that money down towards a down payment. It's just ridiculous. Like, you should be able to buy a home. Why not?
You should not only be able to buy a home, it should be a program, not a program. It should be a goal of all people within the governing areas of the United States, that their citizens have every possible chance, legal, safely, not boom bubbles, not setups for failure. But that should be their mission on everything, but especially a home. That's what makes an American feel like a person. Like, I own this. Like, I look around. I own this piece of property. It's my American dream, exactly. And so many people are being taken away from it.
We're losing that due to greed. We're losing it due to greed because we have foreign countries right now coming up, buying most of the property, buying most of the land, because Americans can't, because we're slaves now. We have been turned into slaves of the system.
Absolutely true. I love what you're saying. Hey, this has been a great show. Yeah, it is, 100%.
And it's sad. I hope our country turns around, because I think we have some hope right now. I really do. I think we have some hope. I think the best thing.
What do you think about Doge? I gotta run here, but you just opened up something. What do you think about Doge? I've always been trust but verify. I know where you're coming from. I've always been about trust but verify. Right now, I'm feeling okay about the way things are going. I think the next couple of years is going to be a big difference. What do you think?
I think so too.
It's in politics.
I think so too. I blew the whistle 3 times working for the government due to the funds and due to taxes. And I would love to get into that with you one day on one of your shows, because now it's all coming out. It's all coming out when they made me feel like I was crazy. And I've got my sister calling me. He's like, you won't believe this. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what I blew the whistle on. It went all the way up to Senate. Like, it was a big deal, but it wasn't when I quit. When I quit, I was the crazy one, because I'm not ICE is what they told me. You're not ICE. You're not Border Patrol. You're not immigration. No, but these are my tax dollars, and I just walked away. I had to walk away, but now it's all coming out, and wait till people find out the truth. That's going to be ugly.
Yeah. We're not even there yet. No, we're not even there yet. We're just, now what we always haven't been able to do is get past this point. Accusations, all the smoke, smoke in the air around and everything. But we've never, when Nancy Pelosi goes to jail, that'll be an actionable thing.
Thank you.
I think that's the easiest one.
Yes.
Really, that's kind of the easiest one.
Because all this stuff comes to light and then gets swept under the rug with a new one that comes to light. And then what happens? It just fades away.
Cycle.
Where the
You know what they're doing? You know what they're doing?
What?
You know what they're doing, right? They're throwing out shiny objects to keep us occupied, so we don't. The bigger picture is way bigger, because they're driving us to a plan. And Trump is really fucking that thing up. Sorry for my language, but he's really diving in there, and I think Trump is who he is. He's not. How New York is. He doesn't talk like Obama did, but he's got a thing that's real, and he's actually doing the things he promised he would do.
Yes.
And like you said, this is a whole story you and I can talk about forever on this show. Another series. Kind of coming up with an idea, maybe another little thing you might want to think about, like a little serious thing. You're great to talk to. You've got amazing stories. You're very okay. I sound like I'm judging you. I don't want to come across this wrong. I'm just saying this has been a great pleasure. This has been an awesome show. You're very, you talk to guests, you talk to different people, and they add different things to the show. That was A+. That was perfect. So I really appreciate what you did for us here.
Thank you.
I'd really like any closing statement. Would you wait for me for a minute in the green room?
Yeah, of course.
We'll talk about some things we talked about earlier. Oh, we missed something. Did I miss something?
This is the first book I ever published. And this is actually, I started investing. It's called Easy Investing. I started investing when I was homeless. And so if you're living check to check, I started investing with $1 that's worth thousands today. And the biggest ROI I ever made. And look at how tiny the book is.
Yeah.
It's a really quick, easy read.
Wow. Okay.
This is how I built a lot of my net worth. And you can too. I bought land for $500. I bought domains for $1. I have 26 pages of domains now worth over $1,000 each. So these are very simple. Yes. And I did that living check to check. $1 domains, 1 cent domains, $500 piece of land. I own 180 acres now. Just little tiny things that you could do, because sometimes it's not practical to put thousands in Charles Schwab. It's not practical when you don't have it. But if you buy assets that you can't cash out right away, they end up building and building, and you figure out those emergencies that you need cash for. You figure it out instead of cashing stuff out.
Well, you gotta give me an hour and a half, one day every week.
Okay.
We'll do a show. I'm telling you, I like you've got the approach that the mindset of the middle class needs.
Yeah.
And that building from within, that journey, that strength. You've got that mindset that all of us need, everybody needs to make these things happen. Any last comments? A big wave? To what?
You can climb out of it. And it's sad because the middle class is dwindling, but I promise you can climb out of it, escape the matrix, and be on your own. We all have a skill. We all have gone through stuff in our journey that has sharpened those tools for us. And we need to use those tools and monetize off of it and help other people. That's our purpose. The journey that you went through, whatever the trials and tribulations you've gone through, look at it and say, what have I learned? And monetize off of it and help other people. And that's it.
I will see you on the other side. Hang out for me. Give everybody a big wave. There's 307 people hanging out. One more wave. I didn't get to click you off after you were done. All right. Oh, and then you giggled. Come on. My timing, I was really bad on that timing. I thought I had it down, man. All right. You owe me one more smile, that beautiful smile and a wave. There it is. Look at that. There's the TV acting part. You see that? That was I'm a queen on the float. So that was a great show. I promise you guys that would be great. Good job, Italia. I told you she's my favorite person in the world. No doubt about it. That'll never change. I look forward to talking to her about a couple of things here real quick. Then I've got another meeting about the expansion of the show that we're going through and doing. There'll be a little bit of a closeout at the end here. I've been playing around. I've been able to figure out how to add extra cameras in. So I've got 4 cameras now, and so we're getting a little bit better at the show. And it's been a long road. I've been doing this on my own since September 17th. Today marks our 315th show here at Insights and Straight Talk, and I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.